Hello YouTube, Cargenix here. Thanks for joining me on another Pokemon challenge. So, attempting Emerald and LeafGreen with grass type babies was definitely fun and challenging. So go check those videos out if you want to see there. I didn't want to end the challenge like this too soon as well, so I decided to see if I could beat Pokemon Crystal only using grass type babies. A perfect example of that is at the bottom. It's something that is the lowest form and doesn't evolve. So here it is, another grass type challenge. These kind of challenges always take me a bit longer due to training up a team. So hope you enjoy the video, and I guess you could view this as part 3. Rules are only grass babies in battle, no items in battle, H in Pokemon are allowed but not in battles, and no hold items. None. So, base stats for Chikorita, the best baby grass type in Generation 2, are pretty good to be fair, well-rounded, and the special defense being the best. And the moves it can also learn is also good for strategical values. A good move set to see. Let's get on with this. Just before we start, I just want to thank everyone for watching my spinner. Hang on a sec, this isn't my spinner rack video. What's going on here? I need to find out. So I guess it's just YouTube giving me the big FU, or maybe it's because I'm pretty much nobody and he's got more subscribers. Ooh, that hurts. Don't cry, baby. It's not your fault. Anyway, jokes aside, thanks for your support. If you're new, hit the subscribe and let's get on with this challenge. So, picking Chikorita, naming it Baby Rita, you know, really simple, but we go to fight our rival in Grove City. It brings out his Cyndaquil. Now, this battle is probably the most exciting battle that you're actually going to see, as all we do is tackle our way down till the Cyndaquil is finished. So, we gain ourselves a level up and get Razor Leaf at level 8, which is nice. So, we head over now to Sprout Tower to fight the Sage, bring out their Bellsprout. Use a tackle, it uses Vine Whip. We use another tackle, uses another Vine Whip. And then we finish it off with one more tackle. So as he brings out his second Bellsprout, we pretty much know what's going to happen here. We're just going to pretty much use 3 tackles and that's the end of his Bellsprout. Now for his Hoot Hoot. And from my Spinnerack video, I can judge that I can't actually link the Hoot Hoot to the Pidgeys. But anyway, I go for a Reflect to negate some damage, go for a Razor Leaf, and then use a couple of tackles and then another Razor Leaf. And then the Reflect wears off and we finish it off with a Razor Leaf, ending the Sage. Now to move on to the first gym leader in the Violet City, which is Falconer. He brings out his Pidgey, which we've leveled up a little bit now after fighting the Sage and going through the grass and fighting other people. We take his Pidgey out with not much hassle at all. Brings out his Pidgeotto, which we use Poison Powder for, hits us with a Gust. We use a Razor Leaf to see what damage that does, not a lot. Hits us with another Gust, Reflect wears off, we use a Tackle, and then Poison doing its thing, and we finish it off with one more tackle, earning us our first badge. Now we're going to skip to Route 32 to look for our first catched Pokemon, which is Hoppip. We catch it, and here are the base stats, which are a little bit lower than Chikorita's, with mainly special defense and speed being the good things about this, but the rest of the stats being quite weak. And also when you catch it, it doesn't actually know a move. It learns Tackle at 10, which is a little bit annoying, so there's a bit of, we're going to have to do some switch outs till it gets that move, but then it has Leech Seed and things like that. So we're now going to move on to our second badge, our second gym leader, Boogie. Brings out Metapod, which we're going to use Baby Hoppy for, as we're going to get some XP from the Metapod. Also, using Baby Hoppy for the first Pokemon is a good gauge to see how much strength they actually have. So we take the Metapod out with not too much hassle. We're going to keep Baby Hoppy out, as what we don't want is for our Baby Chikorita or Baby Rita to basically get poisoned by it. So we use a Stun Spore and then we lower the Kakuna's defense as it tries to raise it, as it hits us with a few Poison Stings. We now use Tackle to do some good damage, and we are tackling our way down. Eventually, we get through the Kakuna's solid defense after we heal up with Synthesis as the Paralyze doing its thing, and it uses one more Poison Sting, and for some reason I use a Stun Spore, which I think was a misclick. We go for a tackle to finish off his Kakuna. He's now going to bring out his Cypher, which we're going to try and get a Stun Spore on, which we're successful, as Poison's hitting us now. We go and lower his defense, and basically we get take out with a quick attack. Baby Rita comes out, uses Reflect, uses a leer to lower our defense, and we go for a tackle. The tail whip not doing as much to lower his defense as I thought, but we're basically going to just tackle our way down until the Cypher is dead, and that earns us our second badge. Now onto our rival that we named Urza.
Excuse me, what's going on?
Why would I tell you, lady?
What's going on?
And the he brings out a Ghastly. So the Ghastly knows Lick that can paralyze us, which is a little bit annoying, but we go for a Stun Spore and a Tail Whip. We then switch out for Baby Rita, which we're going to use a Reflect as he uses Spike. We then go for a Razor Leaf to do some okay damage as Paralyze doing its thing. Eventually we get a critical, taking it out. We're then going to move on to a Zubat, which would go switch to Baby Hoppy as we want to get a Stun Spore in as he tries to use Supersonic, misses. We then get a Tail Whip in, he uses Bite for some good damage, Reflect wears off, he then hits us with a Supersonic, leaving us with Confusion. We use some more Tail Whips as we're trying to lower the Zubat's defense. We hit ourselves with Confusion and we use Synthesis to heal up. Bite hits us again, we keep healing up with Synthesis, and then eventually we'll go for a tackle when I feel comfortable with the health. We eventually grind our way back up, use a tackle to take it out with a critical. Now his Quilava comes out using Smoke Screen, which is really annoying because it can make me miss, but we get our Stun Spore in, which is what we wanted. He then goes for an Ember to do some good damage as we try and lower his defense, and that's Baby Hoppy down. We're now going to move back to Baby Rita to use the tackle, and again not doing as much damage as I wanted it to do with the defense being low, but we are slowly whittling our health down. We then only leave with 14 HP and we take him down. We then sneak past every single person to go to the national park to catch ourselves our second and final member to the team. As you can see the stats here, Sunken is the weakest grass baby, maybe of all time, I don't know, but definitely in Gen 2. And the move pool that he can learn is really not great whatsoever. Hopefully he can learn some better moves with some HMs or TMs, we will find out. But yeah, I'm not doing this challenge, I'm giving up.
Obama out.
After some training, we head to Whitney and Goldenrod City. She brings out a Clefairy, we bring out Baby Hoppy. We use a Stun Spore, uses Metronome to lock on. We're now going to switch out for Baby Rita as Metronome hits us with Pin Missile to go for the full four Pin Missiles. We use a Reflect and then we switch out for Baby Sun. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to use Growth as it raises up the special attack. And we are going to keep doing this until it maxes out. Hopefully the Clefairy won't take us out. So we get all 6 in and we use a Mega Drain to do some really good damage again. Use one more Mega Drain to take the Clefairy down. So they're going to bring out her Milk Tank, which we're going to keep Baby Sun for. Uses Rollout, which we use a Mega Drain for to do some good damage, healing ourselves up. Another Rollout, hitting a critical, nearly take us out, but we get a critical and take Milk Tank out. You didn't see that coming. So we now move on to our rival in Tin Tower. He brings out his Haunter. Now he was actually providing me with some massive issues knowing Curse. So I learned the move Attract to Baby Sun to basically hope that Haunter won't hit us. Curse doing its thing, which is annoying, and him spiting our Mega Drains and things like that down. We eventually do some good damage to the Haunter as we heal up with Mega Drain, but if he gets one hit in, we are going to go down. So I'll go for an Absorb, as I think we ran out of Mega Drains and he takes Baby Sun out. So we now go for Baby Rita, which he hits us with a Lick, but we use Razor Leaf to take it down. Now we're going to switch out for Baby Hoppy because Zubat can also be annoying knowing it's supersonic, but we miss, and we miss again as he uses 2 bites. We finally get it with the third one and he misses with a supersonic. We get our Leech Seed in, is what we want, but then we get hit with a Confused Ray. Don't know why he didn't just use Confused Ray to begin with, but we switch out for Baby Rita and then switch back to Baby Hoppy to get rid of the Confused Ray, but he just Confused Rays us again. So we switch out to Baby Rita, and then as Leech Seed's doing its thing as well, we use a Tackle, we get hit by Bite, Leech Seed healing us up, and then we finish it off with one more Tackle. He's now going to bring out the problem, his Quilava, which, you know, Ember is super strong, so we go for a Stun Spore, which we get in. We then get our Leech Seed in as well as he hits us with an Ember to do some good damage. We then get a Tail Whip in as he hits us with another Ember, and we heal up, and then we get our Headbutt in, which does some really good damage, and we get our final Headbutt in, taking out his Quilava. But he now has his Magnemite, which isn't too much of an issue, but does take Baby Hoppy out. So we're now going to have to go for some Razor Leafs to see how much damage that does. Not too much, but it's probably the best move we've got against at this time, and we get a critical, taking his Magnemite out, ending our rival.
How dare you do this to me?
Into Ectrek City to fight Morty.
I have to go back! I think I was about to get married! Ugh. Take a shower with me, Morty. What?
After some training, he's going to bring out his Ghastly, which is a little bit annoying, but we bring out Baby Rita to do a Razor Leaf, to do some okay damage as he uses Lick. We go for a second Razor Leaf, he uses Lick, luckily no Paralyze, and we take it out in the third Razor Leaf. He's now going to bring out Haunter, which we switch to Baby Hoppy, as we don't want to get cursed on our Rita. So we get cursed on Hoppy, which is annoying, but we get our Leech Seed in, and we're going to switch out now for Baby Rita, so Baby Hop doesn't take much more damage. We then get Hypnosis, which is annoying, but we're just going to basically try and spam either Razor Leaf or Synthesis, but we go for a Synthesis now as we hope we wake up. But Leech Seed doing its thing, it eventually takes the Haunter down. Now for his troublesome Pokemon is Gengar. We switch over for Baby Hoppy as we want to get our Stun Spore Leech Seed in. He luckily misses with Hypnosis, so we get our Stun Spore in. We miss with our Leech Seed, but we get our second Leech Seed in after he was paralyzed. We go for some Tail Whips as we're trying to lower his defense now as he misses, but we switch back out for Baby Rita. We're then going to go for a Razor Leaf. He keeps up with his paralyze as we get healed, but then he goes for a Dream Eater to heal up himself, and we hit a Razor Leaf in. He goes for another Dream Eater as we woke up, which was unaffected. We do another Razor Leaf. He uses Shadow Ball to take Baby Rita down. We then go for Baby Sun, which we use Attract for, hoping that he keeps, infatuated with us, which it does. We use a Mega Drain to do some okay damage, but then Leech Seed takes out his Gengar, which was the most problems that we were having. His Haunter then comes out. All we got to do now is get a Stun in, which we miss. He uses Mean Look, so we try and get our Leech Seed in, using Nightshade to do some good damage, but we then get our Leech Seed in, using another Nightshade to take Baby Hoppy out. So now it's all up to Baby Sun. We go for a Attract, which hits successfully. We then go for some Mega Drains as we want to heal up with the Leech Seed and the Mega Drain. Hopefully it doesn't do that much, so we're going to go for a Growth as he keeps in. He then hits us with another Nightshade, but luckily Leech Seed healed us up enough. We're now going to go for another Mega Drain as we don't want to risk it. We heal a bit more, and luckily he keeps attracted to us, and we take him out with Leech Seed. So we now move on to this guy as I saw the legendary dog Suicune, and he basically challenges to a battle, which I didn't know about. He brings out his Drowsy, so I was a little bit unprepared for this, and the Drowsy knows Hypnosis. Of course it does. So what we're going to do is try and wake up, and eventually after he gets out of his paralyzed or whatever, he hits us with a Dream Eater to do some really good damage. We eventually wake up, and we eventually get our Leech Seed on. We then hit a Headbutt to do some good damage, but he hits us with another Hypnosis, which again is really annoying, but luckily he's being paralyzed. But he hits us with a Dream Eater to heal up, so we're kind of healing each other up with each other's health. Eventually he hits us with another Dream Eater as Leech Seed is doing its thing. He then is paralyzed again, and eventually we get a Headbutt in to take out his Drowsy. He's now going to bring out his Electrode, so we try and get a Stun Spore in, but he hits us with a Thunder to take us down. Baby Sun comes out, which we're going to go for a Mega Drain to see how much damage that does. Not so much at the moment. He hits us with Rail Out, so we do Growth. We then go for another Mega Drain to see how much damage it does now. A little bit more than last time, but it's still not enough. But we go for another Mega Drain to heal up. He hits us with Thunder to leave us 1 HP. We hit Mega Drain, and then he misses with Thunder, and we finish him off with a Mega Drain. Baby Sun actually doing quite well. We then switch over to Baby Rita now as he's got a Haunter, and I'm sick of Haunters, but we use a Razor Leaf. He uses Mean Look, so we now longer can run away. And we go for another Razor Leaf, nearly taking him out. He hits us with a Lick, but we finish it off with another Razor Leaf, ending him. We can now finally go to the gym leader, which is Chuck in Chuckwood City. He brings out his Primate. To be honest, I think he's going to be quite easy as he's only got a Fighting type and a Water type. But anyway, we go for Stun Spore to do some good damage. We then switch out to Baby Sun. He uses Karate Chop to hit us for heavy damage. We go for an Attract. And the fun fact about Attract is it only works on the opposite sex, as I found out at Critical Point one time. But yeah, anyway, so we keep going for Growth as we're trying to get our special attack up. We keep going for Growth as he's attracted to us, missing with Leers and things like that. Eventually we get enough Growths in, so we go for a Synthesis, which heals us up quite well. It then still attracted to us as Leech Seed do its thing. We go for a Mega Drain to take down his Primate. So I was having a little bit of an experiment and a little bit of fun with Baby Sun as I wanted to see what happens, but unfortunately he got took out with one Dynamic Punch. So we go for Baby Rita to hit him with a Body Slam. I'm hoping for a Paralyze, which we get on the second one. We go for a Razor Leaf to do some really good damage, nearly take him out. Hypnosis hits us, so we're going to switch out for Baby Hoppy. He uses Dynamic Punch to nearly take Baby Hoppy down, and we get confused. We hit ourselves with Confusion. He misses one more Dynamic Punch. We use Leech Seed, and then that finishes off his Poliwrath, earning us our 5th badge. After the lighthouse and everything, getting the potion for Jasmine, we go and fight her in her gym. She brings out a Magnemite. Now, I wasn't really too sure how these battles were going to go, but we were actually struggling a little bit with the Magnemites knowing Thunderwave, and also the Steelix knowing Iron Tail doing some really good damage against us. For some reason Thunderbolt also doing quite good damage against us. So it was a little bit annoying having to fight her. Actually struggling a little bit against this first Magnemite. We eventually get it down. And now she's gonna bring out her Steelix, so we're gonna switch out for Baby Hoppy as we're going to attempt to get a Stun Spore, but we get hit by Iron Tail, and that's the end of that. Bring out Baby Sun again as Iron Tail hits us and takes us out. So it's all down to Baby Rita now. At this point, I didn't actually think I was going to do it. I thought potentially I was going to just get taken down by the Steelix, but it keeps missing with the Iron Tails and heals up with Hyper Potion. We get quite lucky with a critical on the Razor Leaf, another critical as well, and then we finally take the Steelix out with a Razor Leaf. So I'm not going to give up here as she's only got one Magnemite left. We're going to go for a Body Slam. It hits us with Thunder Wave, which is annoying, tries to confuse us, but misses. We hit with a couple more Body Slams. Eventually she uses Thunderbolt to do some good damage. We use another Body Slam, another Thunderbolt, and then another Body Slam to finish off the Magnemite, earning us our 6 badge. Moving on to the Gyarados now at the lake. I included this battle as usually I can take it out in like 1 or 2 hits, but because we're using grass type babies, we're going to struggle a little bit. Baby Hoppy went down in a thrash. We bring out Baby Rita as the Paralyze doing it and Leech Seed doing its thing. We use a Razor Leaf, hitting us with another good thrash. We're going to go for another Body Slam to nearly take it out. He's now confused and hits himself, and that's the end of the Gyarados. Moving on to this guy and the Team Rocket as we go to the basement, I believe. It brings out a Zubat. So we're a little bit more leveled up now compared to this gens. So we're doing okay. We go for a Body Slam on his Coffin, which does some good damage. We're going to switch out now for Baby Hoppy as he uses Sludge, which is super effective and very annoying, but we take the Coffin down. Now I'm going to bring out a Raticate, so we keep Baby Hoppy out and we use a Headbutt to do some really good damage. Go for a Stun Ball but miss. Hyper Fang doing its thing, and Quick Attack taking out Baby Hoppy. We bring out Baby Sun to use an Attract as he uses Scary Face. Attract successful, so we go for a Growth, which is good, and then a Hyper Fang hits us for some good damage. We keep using Growth as Attract works, and then we go for a Mega Drain, which takes the Raticate out, ending that Team Rocket member. We're now going to help Lance as well, try and take down the Power Plant, but the Team Rocket members stop us, so we go and fight these people as well. So she brings out her Arbok. Again, knowing some poison moves can be annoying, but we have Baby Rita to the ready, using Wrap to trap us, but we go for some Body Slams to take the Arbok out. Then going to bring out a Gloom, so I think we'll switch to Baby Hoppy, as we're going to use a Stun Spore, as she uses Swept Away but misses. We use a Tail Whip to lower the defense twice. Acid hits us for some good damage. We go for a Headbutt, which nearly takes out another Acid doing some really good damage. We go for one more Headbutt, and that's the end of Gloom. Now for Morok or Dark Pidgey, whatever you want to name it. We go for a Leech Seed and whatnot, but we get taken down. So we're now going to bring out Baby Sun. We go for a Attract the first time. I didn't add it in, but we actually find out this is where you can't use Attract. But yeah, anyway, we go for some Mega Drains and Synthesis. We get hit by a critical. We go for a Growth, but then one more Peck takes Baby Sun out. So it's all down to Baby Rita. We use a Body Slam for good damage. Peck hits us. We go for one more Body Slam, and that's the end of that Team Rocket member. So we then head to Mahogany Town to fight the gym leader, Thrace. He brings out a Seal, so we bring out Baby Hoppy to go for a Stun Spore, which is successful. He uses Icy Wind, which is super effective, so we go for a Leech Seed, and he uses an Aurora Beam to nearly take Baby Hoppy out. So we're going to switch out now for Baby Sun, and Aurora Beam hits Baby Sun to do some okay damage, but we tanked it a little bit. Using an Attract, and him then hitting us with an Icy Wind, we then go for a Growths, as we're going to go for the same strategy to bump up our special attack, as Paralyze and Leech Seed does its thing for us, and now Attract as well. As we get nearly our maximum amount of Growths in, Paralyze still working out, we have now achieved maximum Growths as the Seal goes down. Now we're ready for his Dugong, so we're going to go for a Mega Drain as he hits us with an Aurora Beam, nearly taking us out. Mega Drain doing some really good damage, but unfortunately not hitting the mark, and then him taking us down with an Aurora Beam. So we now switch back out for Baby Rita to finish off Dugong with a Razor Leaf. Now for the Piloswine. We're going to use a Light Scream. Fury attacks hits us for some not very good damage. We go for a Body Slam that does okay. We're looking to get Paralyze in, which we use 2 for but don't. We then hit a Razor Leaf to finish off the Piloswine, earning us our 7th badge. We then go to the top of the Team Rocket radio tower or whatever. This guy was way more annoying than I wanted him to be. Yes, he may only have level 30 coffins, but he has 5 coffins and 1 wheezing. And you know what those coffins know? they know Sludge and Self-Destruct. So basically, my Pokemon, when they were at lower levels, like 35, 36, were getting 1 or 2 shotted by the Wheezing, and same by the Coffins. So it was very, very frustrating. Also, when we got their health low down, they would just use Self-Destruct and take the Pokemon out, which if you have the ratio of 6 to 1, you know, that's not, 6 to 3, sorry, that's not very good. So basically, as you can see here, the strategy I was going for was just using Baby Hoppy to try and take out the first couple of Coffins, and then using Baby Rita to take out the third Coffin before the Wheezing, but trying to have as much health as possible to get on board for the Wheezing. So we eventually take the Coffin down, and then here comes the Wheezing. So we're going to switch out for Baby Hoppy as we want Stun Spore on this Wheezing character. Then hits us with a Sludge to take Baby Hoppy out. So we switch to Baby Rita to go for some Body Slams. Just hopefully to do some really good damage and take the Wheezing down without using Self-Destruct or anything like that. We use a Body Slam and that finishes off Wheezing, but we only have 9 HP. So we're going to go for a Synthesis, but he hits us with Sludge, nearly taking Baby Rita out. So to not risk it, we just go for Body Slam, getting a Paralyze and finishing off Coffin. Now it's all down to Baby Sun. Use Attract, and basically I've just got to hope that Attract works and he doesn't hit us with smoke screens and things like that. That's another annoying factor, that they know smoke screen. But we got 2 growths in and use a Hidden Power, takes down the Coffin. 1 more Coffin down, we use a Hidden Power and we get a critical, and that was the end of this guy. So annoying. And we can't relax yet, because as we go down to the basement, our rival decides he wants to come and have a go. So we go with Baby Rita to take his down his Gold Bat with a couple of Body Slams. He then uses Leech Life, but another Body Slam, and that's his Gold Bat down. Brings out his Quilava, which we're going to go for Baby Hoppy for, to use Stun Spore, as that's pretty much the only way you're going to be able to match up against his Koala, having fire damage against us. So we go for Swagger now as well, hoping he hits himself, which he doesn't. He gets a Fire Wheel in, which takes Baby Hoppy down. So we're now going to move on to Baby Rita to hit him with a Body Slam, getting us a critical, doing so much damage, and then him finish himself off. Now for the Magnemite. So we're just going to go for Razor Leaf, as I've not really got a good move to take Magnemite down. He hits us with Paralyze and a Sonic Boom to do some good damage. Keeps hitting us with that till we finally take him out with Body Slam, gaining us level 41. We're now going to switch out to Baby Sun, as we're going to use Attract, as he's got his Haunter, which again, I'm sick of Haunters after the 4th gym. Hits us with a couple of Shadow Balls as we go for Growths. We then go for a Mega Drain to do not that great damage, but anything helps. And we then go for another Mega Drain after 1 more Growth to improve the damage. And then we go for another Growth to go for another Mega Drain. I was hoping maybe they would use Curse and just take itself out, but it didn't. Eventually, we get through with Mega Drains, as we got some good luck there with Attract. Now for his final Pokemon, which is Sneevil, we go for a Hidden Power as he uses Fate Act. Hidden Power doing some okay damage, so we're just going to keep going for Hidden Power, whittling its health down. He then takes Baby Sun out with his attacks. We move to Baby Rita, as we just really need to get 1 good Body Slam on, and that's the end of our rival. Now, the guy that I thought was going to give us a problem at the other end of the radio tower, actually wasn't that bad. We start off with Baby Sun to use Attract on his Houndoom. We go for some growths, as you know the strategy by now. We're trying to bump up a special attack to use either Mega Drain or Hidden Power now. But we get taken out with a second Ember. So that's the end of Baby Sun. We then go for Baby Hoppy, which we use a Stun Spore and Leech Seed for. To do some good damage. We go for Swagger, and we're hoping he hits himself. He hits us with an Ember, nearly taking Baby Hoppy out, but luckily we've got Leech Seed on. We use a Headbutt, and then he takes us out with another Ember. So now it's all down to Baby Rita. We use a Razor Leaf to take his 1 Houndoom down, and Hound Dog down. He brings out his Coffin, which we use a Body Slam for. Uses Smoke Screen, which is really annoying, but we managed to get another Body Slam in, and then he misses with Smoke Screen. We get our final Razor Leaf in, taking his Coffin down. Now at this point I thought his Houndoom would just take us down, but we do have Light Screen, which is good. So using Light Screen, that's going to protect us from Ember a little bit better. We miss with a couple of Body Slams and whatnot, but we hit again with a Body Slam. He uses Smudge to do some damage, and we're almost getting taken out, but we get a critical, ending the Houndoom. And oh yeah, on the way to training for the 8th gym, we found Raikou, as you just saw there quickly. But anyway, she brings out her Dragonair. We use a Baby Rita. She used Thunder Wave again with Claire. The most annoying thing is the fact that she has 3 Dragonairs that all know Thunder Wave and Ice Beam or Dragon Breath, and basically paralyzes you and hits you with heavy damage. So the goal here is to try and take out as many Dragonairs as we can to basically have our baby Hoppy for it. But luckily she switches out for a Kindra, which is what we want. We get hit with a good Hyper Beam. We get our Stun Spore on and Swagger on and then Leech Seed on. And it hits itself as we heal up a little bit, and this is basically what we want, because by the time, usually when you get to the Kingdra, you don't have enough HP or Pokemon like good left to actually take the Kingdra down, but eventually we take the Kingdra down with Leech Seed doing its thing. So now she's just got 2 Dragonairs left, but they can still pose a problem as they do know their Thunder Wave, which is annoying, and also like Ice moves as well. So we managed to take down the second Dragonair, and she's down to her final Dragonair. So we go for a Swagger, which is what we want, but it hits itself, which is good. We go for a Leech Seed. Out of confusion, we get Thunder Wave, which is annoying, but we're doing okay at the moment. Hits us with 1 Slam to do some heavy damage. We get our Stun Spore in. We go for a Headbutt, which nearly takes it out. Hits us with a Slam to take Baby Hoppy down. Luckily, we still have a full life Sundown, so we use Hidden Power to take Claire, earning us our 8th badge. Now at the end of Victory Road, we go for a rival again. Brings out a Sneasel. We go for Baby Hoppy. Hits us with a Fury Cutter, not doing too much damage. So we use Leech Seed and Stun Spore for the combination. We use Swagger as well, and it starts to not hit itself, but that's what we're hoping for. We go for a Headbutt, which does some really good damage and flinches, and it hits itself to take itself down. Now we're going to switch out for Baby Rita for the Gold Bat. We use a Body Slam to do some good damage, second Body Slam to do some good damage as Leech Life does its thing. We use a Light Screen as we come into the end of the Gold Bat and we don't know what's going to come out left. We use a Synthesis to heal up, and then we go for a Body Slam to take the Gold Bat down. And now I'm going to bring out his Typhlosion. Now here's the problem we're going to have, is the Typhlosion is really strong and it outspeeds us, but we try and get our Stun Spore in as it uses a couple of smoke screens, which is annoying, but we managed to get it in. So now we're going to attempt to get Leech Seed on, but Fire Wheel doing some very heavy damage. We get our Leech Seed on, but get taken out by a second Fire Wheel. Now it's time to move on to Baby Rita as we use Light Screen to try and protect ourselves from that damage. We use a Body Slam as he hits us with a Fire Wheel, not doing that much damage because we're protected. We get a second Body Slam in, tries to hit us with Smoke Screen, and then Leech Seed does its thing, taking it out. Now switch on to the Magneton, which could pose a big problem as we don't really have a good move to take it down still, and it's now bulked up, being leveled up and evolved. So we use a Light Screen and we're just trying the best tactics as we can. We try and heal with a Synthesis, which we do. We're getting hit by Sonic Boom now as we heal up some really good damage. Sonic Boom's still hitting us. We hit him with another Body Slam. Sonic Boom's still doing its thing as we are whittling his health down slowly with Body Slam. And then we go for another Light Screen as I'm not really sure what other moves the Pokemon have, so I want to have a Light Screen up just in case. We go for another Synthesis as we're getting lucky here that the Paralyze isn't actually affecting us. We hit him with another Body Slam, him getting Paralyzed, hitting us with a Sonic Boom. We healing up with another Synthesis, Sonic Boom doing its thing, and then again we go for a Body Slam, and that's finally his Magneton down. A very long battle there, but we managed to come out on top. We now bring out Baby Sun for an Attract as he uses Curse, which is good and bad because it does a lot of damage to him, but also it's going to do a lot of damage to us over time now, so we haven't got as much time to bulk up. And with him using Mean Look, we can't escape, so we're just going to have to basically spam the Mega Drain and hope for the best, which we do get a couple of Mega Drains in. He's got a little bit of health now as we're nearly down. Can one more Mega Drain do it? It does as we get out of confusion, and that's the end of his Haunter. And now it's time to switch out for his final Kadabra, which we use Baby Rita for. We need one good Body Slam here to do some good damage, and that takes him out, and that's the end of our rival. But we couldn't just stop there. We had to grind like hell to even attempt Will. So Will brings out his X2. We then get one Body Slam in to paralyze him, which is good, but we get confused and we hit ourselves. A Psychic now doing some really good damage against us. We go for a Light Screen to try and protect against Psychic, which it does. We go for a Synthesis, which is good, hitting us with Psychics, doing damage as we try and heal up. It's out. He gets himself with Paralyze as we go for another Body Slam, taking down his first X2. He's now going to bring out Jinx, which could be a problem, but then I found that Body Slam is quite effective. Hits us with an Ice Punch for some good damage as Light Skin fades. We finish her off with a Razor Leaf. Now for the Exetor, which could also be an issue, but we're going to go for Baby Hop and we go for Swagger as we want it to hit itself. But it tries a Leech Seed, which is pretty useless against other grass types, but we managed to get our headbutts and it hits itself to death. And that's the end of Exetor. So now we're going to bring out our Baby Rita again for the X2. There's not much that Baby Sun can do at this point in time as all of them outspeed it and they've got moves that can just take out in 1 or 2. So we just go for Baby Rita on the X2, but she gets taken out. So we have to now move to Baby Hop and we go for a Headbutt, which does some good damage, and then it heals up, unfortunately, we go for another headbutt, and then we go for a swagger, and then we're going to go for a leech seed, but it confuses us, so we go for a headbutt instead. No, a swagger instead by accident, and then we go for a leech seed, and then it hits itself, and it doing its thing. We'll get one more headbutt in, and that takes out his second X2. Now for Slowbro, which finally Baby Sun can come out for. We use a growth, we use amnesia, we go for a Giga Drain to do some good damage, and then uses a psychic to hit some heavy damage on us, but we go for another Giga Drain, which nearly takes it down. It then uses another psychic, and then we go for one more Giga Drain, and that is the first elite member down. And that's well over. So the next person is Koga, and obviously he's a little bit harder because he has poison types, and we're weak against poison types. So I wasn't too sure what to do. Train up Baby Rita a little bit, and we take out the Arachnus with a couple of body slams. Now for Venomoth, which we're going to use a couple of body slams to take that down as well. That's some of those smaller issues out of the way. Now the Muck is the big issue because it knows Sludge, Minimize, and Acid Armor and things like that. Just annoying things. So we have to go for a Swagger and Stun Spore. As it hits itself, we're getting very lucky here, as a lot of times it would just hit us with its Sludge Bomb and take us out. So we take down the Muck, so things are looking good, but it's got a Crobat which outspeeds us, but uses Double Team. We go for a Body Slam to do some good damage. He tries to use Toxic but miss. We go for another Body Slam, getting the Paralyzed, which is lucky, but then full restoring, but we get a Body Slam in, and then he uses Double Team again, which is annoying. We go for another Body Slam. Uses Wing Attack to do some good damage, but we go for one more Body Slam, and that's the end of that Crobat. We're getting to level 60 as well. Now for his Fortress. So what we're going to go here is we're going to go for Baby Hoppy, we're going to go for a Leech Seed and the Stun Spore strategy. Uses Spike, and Leech Seed's doing its thing. We'll go for a Swagger, and then we're hoping it hits itself, but it uses Explosion, takes itself out. And that's the end of Koga. So we have defeated the second guy. We go on to Bruno now, as he's changed his Pokemon. I thought he had more Rock Pokemon than he did, but he has more Fighting types this time. So he brings out his Hitmontop, which we go for Swagger, and we go for a Headbutt to do some really good damage. Then Quick Attack, but we use a Leech Seed, and then we go for a Stun Spore, but Leech Seed takes it out. Now for his Hitmonchamp, which we're going to go for a Swagger for. He then is confused, hits himself. We go for a Leech Seed, Ice Punch doing some really good damage. We're going for Swagger, but we get taken out by Mach Punch. So we bring out Baby Rita, Mach Punch hitting us. We use a Body Slam to nearly take it out, using a Mach Punch, but one more Body Slam takes down his Machamp. Now for his Hitmonlee, which we're going to keep Baby Rita out for. Again, there's not much that Baby Sun can do here, as it just gets hit for too heavy damage, so we're going to have to try and save it a bit. We go here to take out the Hitmonlee with a couple of Body Slams. Now for his Machamp. So we go for a Body Slam to do some okay damage, luckily getting the Paralyze on as well. We use a Razor Leaf to do some really good damage, and he uses Cross Chop to do some good damage against us. Use one more Body Slam, and that's the end of his Machamp. Now we can bring out Baby Sun to basically use one Giga Drain to take out his Onix, which will be the end of Bruno and the third member. Now on to Karen, the fourth member of the Elite Four. She brings out her Umbreon, which we bring out Baby Hoppy. We're going to use Swagger as we want it to hit itself, which it does. We then go for a Stun Spore, which we miss. Uses a Faint Attack to do some little damage. We go for another Stun Spore and hit. We then go for another Swagger as it's confused. It hits itself again. We go for a Leech Seed, and now we're going to go for our Headbutts as it hits itself. We take down our Umbreon after a second Headbutt. Now for her Houndoom, the problem that we have, but luckily we have Baby Rita, which has Light Screen, so Flamethrower can be tanked a little bit. And we go for a Body Slam to do some good damage. We were hoping for a Paralyze, but Body Slam did so good we hit it with a second one, and that's the end of Houndoom. I actually thought it was going to provide us with more problems than it did, so I was a little bit happy there. We go for a Swagger on the Vile Plume, which it doesn't hit itself, it Stun Spores us. We try and go for our own Stun Spore. As it hits itself, we get successful. Light Screen wears off, so we go for a Headbutt to do some okay damage. Gets flinched, we go for another one, flinches again. A final Headbutt takes down a Vile Plume. Now for Gengar. I'm actually, for some reason, quite annoyed with Gengar's Haunters and Ghastlies. This run, they just annoyed me. But anyway, here's Curse, which is good for us. Again, but we're going to switch out now because we don't want Baby Sun to get taken out. We did attempt it, but I thought it would just get taken out. So we switched to Baby Rita as a couple of links to its thing. We use Synthesis and we try and get a light screen in. We eventually do. We're going to go for a Razor Leaf now as Link's doing its thing as we run out of Synthesises. We're now going to go to Baby Hoppy as it uses Link because we're already paralyzed. So we go for Swagger, and then we want it to hit itself. Unfortunately, my phone battery went low, so that's why that thing popped up. But it did hit itself, and then it hit itself to kill itself. So the final one, the Dark Pidgey, is I can't be bothered to attempt to pronounce it. We go for Swagger. Swagger hits. We then go for a Leech Seed as it hits us with a Feint Attack. Leech Seed is successful. So we're now going to go for some Headbutts as Feint Attack hits us again. Leech Seed healing us up a little bit. We get paralyzed. We're now going to try a Stun Spore as we get hit by another Feint Attack. But Stun Spore misses. We go for again, but Feint Attack taking out Baby Hoppy. So now we go for Baby Rita as we want a Body Slap in. But we get hit with some heavy damage and then we take it out with one Body Slam. So it's now time to move on to Lance, the final guy in the Elite Four. But we couldn't do it at our current level as I'm showing you here. His Aerodactyl was too strong, Charizard was too strong, everything was too strong. So we had to grind the team up to around past 60. Baby Hoppy being at 65 now. So we go for a Swagger, Gyarados hitting itself. We're going to go for a Stun Spore and Gyarados uses Rain Dance, which is handy and not handy. But anyway, he hits us with Surf to do a little bit more damage than he would have done without Rain Dance, but we use a Headbutt. He flinches, and then we use one more Headbutt, and that's the end of Gyarados. Now it's time for his Dragonite, but his weaker one. We use Swagger, which he gets confused. He misses with Blizzard. We go for a Stun Spore. He then hits himself, and then we go for a Leech Seed. So we've got our good combination now. He hits himself again, and we're going to go for a Headbutt to nearly take him out, but he flinches, and Leech Seed takes him down. So now for the Aerodactyl, again, I wanted to try it with different Pokemon, but I found they just kept getting taken out. So it's down to Baby Hoppy again. We use a Stun Spore and a Swagger, and he hits himself. We're now going to go for a Leech Seed, so the combination we need. He hits himself again, Leech Seed doing its thing, and we go for a Headbutt, ending his Aerodactyl's reign. Now for his Charizard. Baby Rita is probably the best thing to take out here, as it knows Light Screen. So we use it, tanking his Flamethrower. Now we're going to go for a Body Slam, hoping for a Paralyze, which we get. He then hits us with another Flamethrower. So we're going to go for another Body Slam there to nearly take him down. Flamethrower hitting us again, leaving us with 20 HP, but we finish off his Charizard. Now for his strongest Dragonite. So we're going to have to get really lucky here and hope that we get our combination in, which we do Swagger, and he hits himself again. Light Screen fading off here, we go for a Stun Spore and he hits himself for a second time. We go for a Headbutt, hoping it would take him out. He flinches, but then he uses a full Restore. So at this point I was thinking he's probably just going to hit us with a Blizzard or something like that, but he gets paralyzed, and then we use a Swagger, and then he gets paralyzed again, and we use a Leech Seed, and then he misses with a Fire Blast, so we go for a Headbutt and he flinches. We then go for a second Headbutt and we take down his Dragonite. Now it's for his final Dragonite, and at this point I'm thinking to myself, we've got to be able to do this, but we'll still come worry. We use Light Screen, he uses Twister, which doesn't take us out, so I go for a Body Slam, hoping for a Paralyzed, but it didn't work, and our Baby Rita gets taken down. So we now go for Baby Sun to use Attract, hoping that Baby Sun can finish this. So we go for a Hidden Power as he hits us with Twister, which didn't do that much. So I was thinking this is looking good. And then he goes for a Hyper Beam to take Baby Sun down in one. So I was a little bit worried now. But we have Baby Hoppy to clean him up with a couple more Headbutts. And that is the end of Lance. And that is the end of this part of the challenge. So we managed to do this without any hold items and out any items. This was definitely harder than Leaf Green, as the team that I have was much weaker, and I know there is more to see, but just so you know, I'm working on another Grass Baby episode, but it's going to take me some more time as I've got more to train. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. This is how I'd personally rate the team. Let me know in the description if you agree, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.